Welcome to the debut episode of the Apocalypse Tapes, which is in no way a rip-off of Desert Island Discs. On each episode, I will speak to some of the most questionable figures in the world of YouTube, and get them to choose one tape they'd want to take with them if the apocalypse was to happen. And believe me, it will happen. My guest this week is Grigo, impersonator, writer, and world champion self-loather. Raised on a farm in the middle of central London, he had aspirations of becoming the world #1 taxi hunter and 90s Michael Bolton hair impersonator. Then, one summer afternoon in 2014, his life changed forever. He was officially diagnosed as being batshit crazy, which then inspired him to start his own YouTube channel. Now, 4 years on, he sits happily with his legion of fan and 218 subscribers, which decreases daily. I like making videos of the visual variety, he once said, but not as much as I like throwing stale bread at youngsters having fun. So, Grigo, welcome to the show. So when did this fascination with making videos come into play? Well, it was one day, really. I was watching compilations of young pranksters in the hope that they would be sucked into a black hole of ill-advised content. And I just thought to myself, I'm going to buy some chewing gum. And then when I returned from the shop, I thought to myself, I'm going to have a poo. But then I thought to myself, hey, let's try this YouTube thing. And how did it feel doing that first video? Well, I was anxious, confused, and very hungry. It was my first foray into the world of visual content, well, unless you count my audition tape for Dancing on Quicksand. However, that show unfortunately did sink in the ratings massively, as did the presenters and other contestants. YouTube was just this thing to me that had people having loads of fun on it, just making content that they enjoyed. Well, until I found out that one YouTuber, Hannibal, turned to alcoholism and married her co-star, which is a shock. So, with all those dark thoughts in my mind, the video was up and that was it. I had no idea how it was going to do. And of course, it's where everything took off for you, and one person viewed it. Do you remember the first comment you received? Yes, it was from Soggy Loaf Blues, who said simply, "What are you?" I must admit, I held that with me for many years, but I'm over it now. I killed him in his sleep. Right, let's get on. What is your song choice today? Well, this song is one that helped me through some very tough times. After my first video went out, I immediately took to prescription suppositories and herbal tea. It was a very, very dark time. So I played this, which is Cup of Lies by the band Dysentery. You gave me a cup of lies, you gave me a cup of lies, cup of lies, cup of lies, cup of lies, you bitch, Dysentery. And that was Cup of Lies by Dysentery. Right, with all my survivors, I let them have one luxury item. What would that be for you? For me, it would have to be my most prized possession, which is a signed photograph of Jake Paul by Logan Paul. And finally, you're allowed to kill one person to survive this apocalypse. Who would you choose? That's a good question. I think I would have to kill my imaginary friend Paul. His screams get too much for me at night, and he makes me think bad thoughts. Kill the presenter. Not now, Paul. Chris, thank you very much for joining me. Join me the same time next week, where my guest will be a vlogger on YouTube who is offended by her own offence.